Two teams that had excellent opening weeks are facing each other here. Both of them with 2-0 records as the Nagoya Diamond Dolphins face up with the RYUKYU Golden Kings here this afternoon. Welcome to B.LEAGUE action. Anthony Suntay with the call. Glad you're joining us, and we'd like to welcome you here to the Dolphins Arena, as we've got a big matchup between these two squads that are looking for a lot more in the postseason. But of course, the season just began. This is only the second weekend of competition. Let's look at the performance of both these squads, starting out with the visiting RYUKYU Golden Kings. They beat Utsunomiya Brex last week. Their first game, they won 81-52, and then they followed it up with an 85-70 victory. They were led, of course, by Jack Cooley and Alan Durham, both of them averaging 15 points. Ko Flippin had 13.5 points in those two encounters. Keita Imamura had 9.5, and Josh Duncan with 8.5 as well. Taking a look at the total rebounding, Jack Cooley lording it over with 12.5 rebounds, Alan Durham with 8, and Josh Duncan with 4. In terms of assists, Alan Durham had an average of 5 assists in those two games, and Ko Flippin helped him out with 4.5. Here's some of the action. Durham kicks it out. Open three. And we talked about that win. That's Keita Imamura there, their designated gunner. Flippin flips it up and gets that to go. He's in very good form. He is the starting point guard right now. There is no fantasista anymore. Durham can hit that from the outside and does. So a very good start against a very good team, Utsunomiya Brex. Well, not the kind of start they would have wanted here for this particular season, but it's still early. Just one weekend has been gone. Extra pass, Durham, that's one of those 5 assists. Knocking down that shot there was Shota Onodera. Right now, they traveled here to Dolphins Arena, and we're going to see if the Dolphins can continue their hot streak here at home. Once again, there you have the lineup here of the visiting squad as they bring in their starters. Starting for them here today will be Ko Flippin, number 7, Alan Durham, number 24, Naoki Tashiro, number 30, their gunner, Keita Imamura, and number 45, their big man, Jack Cooley. But they're going to be introducing the entire squad here. So these are the non-starters first. There's Jay Washington, who they've acquired from the Philippines, from the Philippine Basketball League, the PBA. Making his debut here this year in Japan. And there are the starters we talked about. Both these squads want to get to 3-0. Want to keep that spotless record. But unfortunately, one team will go down to a loss after this Saturday's action. A little bit of a kiss there from Jack Cooley to all his fans. This was them warming up earlier. We talked about the performance of Jack Cooley, and that's what he loves to operate inside that paint. Banging people around, getting rebounds, and getting those easy baskets inside as well. That's going to be a really nice matchup inside against Maurice Endure and Scott Etherton. He is almost always the last line of defense. When we take a look at the Nagoya Diamond Dolphins, though, their notables here. They had 2 games as well last week. First game, they won 101-86. And in their second game, they won 84-74. Both those matches were against Seahorses Mikawa. Nice basket there inside the paint. Coming from Harimoto. Nice save, Cody Clark. No look pass. Easy slam there for Maurice Endure. One of the highlights that they had last week. And they're looking to make it 3-0 here. Ray Parks was on target. Ray Parks seems to have found his groove. found his spot in the rotation. Scott Etherton can hit from the outside as well. That was a buzzer beater to end the quarter. Trying to show. Nice kiss off there with the left hand. And as we mentioned, Scott Etherton is going to have a nice battle inside against Jack Cooley. One of the highlights here to this good matchup this Saturday afternoon. Looking at the points average, the leaders here for Nagoya. Cody Clark averaging 22 points a ball game. Maurice Endure with 15.5 and Scott Etherton with 13. 13 as well here for Ray Park. So the four imports really leading the charge offensively in terms of rebounds. Scott Etherton with 10, Cody Clark with 8, and Maurice Endure with 5. There's a matchup that we talked about. That is going to be really nice. Two big men. On the left side, Scott Etherton. On the right, Jack Cooley. Looking at assist numbers. And here's the official introduction of the home squad, the Diamond Dolphins. And now the starters here for Coach Sean Dennis. Starting out with the same starting five he had last weekend when he got 2 straight victories for his squad. Starting out with number 2, Takumi Saito. Number 4, Cody Clark. Number 11, Yutaro Suda. Number 12, Taito Nakahigashi. And number 43, their man in the middle, Scott Etherton. So they're going to be having Ray Parks and Maurice Endure coming off the bench, and it served them so well last week. There is Coach Sean Dennis, former coach of Shiga, now moving on to Nagoya and looking for bigger things for his squad. After a full season under his belt with these players, they're looking to get even better things. On the other side, that is Coach Dai Oketani. Only 41 years of age, but already has been a head coach for quite a while. He was with Ryukyu 2012 to 2015. He moved over to Osaka 2015 to 2018. And then he went to Sendai from 2018 to 2020 before returning last year. And last week was his 3rd season here with the Ryukyu Golden Kings. Looking to give them more wins. As we take a look at the starting lineup for both these squads, once again, the Diamond Dolphins starting out with Saito, Clark, Yuda, Nakahigashi, and Etherton. For the visiting Golden Kings, we've got Ko Flippin, Durham, Tashiro, Imamura, and Jack Cooley. A while ago you saw the officials. Our 3 referees for today's encounter. We got referee Abe, referee Kume, and referee Ono. And here's tip-off here at Dolphins Arena. Tip's going to be won by the home squad, Cody Clark, with first possession. Handing it up to their starting point guard, Takumi Saito. He had exceptional numbers, averaging 12 assists. That's incredible. Saito from the outside is going to hit to start things off. It's 3-0 here for Nagoya. They want nothing less than a victory, and they're going to say there's a turnover here early. Pressure being shown here by Takumi. Flippin stepped on the sideline there. Suda with the inbound. Gets it inside to Clark once again. They're going to move that around until they get it in the hands once again of Saito. Saito, that's a perfect pass. They were doubling up high. And Suda gets his first 2 points. It's 5-0 for Nagoya. Flipping on the outside to Imamura. Two-man game. Alan Durham powers inside and kicks it out. Nice medium range jumper there from Naoki Tashiro. First basket here for the Golden Kings. Clark will hand it out once again. On the outside, Etherton's not going to force the issue. Clark trying to bump his way. That's going to come up short. That's going to be a foul there, and Cody Clark, his first. Durham had secured the rebound already. Watch it here. Trying to fade away. Just short. Cody Clark's got to watch his fouls. He was in foul trouble in their first game. That really hampered his performance defensively. Go flipping. Will almost fall. Steal. And an easy layup here for Saito. Saito now with 5 points. Seems like he's had the number of Ko flipping twice already. Back up to a 5-point lead here. Chance of defense once again from the fans of the Dolphins. They flip it up a little bit, and Keita Imamura will bring it down all the way through. Will miss that layup though, but he'll settle for 2 shots from the 15-foot line. The defense forgot that the most dangerous man was the man with the basketball, and Imamura went all the way through. It might be too much of a task for Scott Etherton to stay with Imamura that high up. Nahigashi there picks up the foul. He was the last line of defense that time. Imamura makes that first. Keita Imamura, one of the stars of Japanese basketball. He's a scorer. 2 free throws will bring Ryukyu to within 3. Saito puts it up high off the glass, and it's going to drop. Takumi Saito now with 7 points. Lead is back up to 5. What a great start here for Saito. They go inside to Durham. Durham kicks it out. Imamura for 3. That was partially blocked. Good defense there from Suda as he recovered to the corner. Clark will give it up and issue a lame pass. Almost a turnover. Yes, it is. Go flipping. Trying to make up for some of his lackluster performances. Trying to bring up that basketball. Comes up with a defensive stop there. 2.5 minutes gone here in the first period. Flippin says, okay, I'm settled down. Trying to go around the wing. Imamura to the corner. Flippin will attack. He's got the advantage there inside that paint. He's taller there against Saito. But Imamura's going to miss from point blank range. Leaking out. Nakahigashi. No! That's going to hurt. Those are 2 easy baskets on either end. No release pass to Durham. Imamura stopped in his tracks. Cooley goes inside. Durham a little bit too strong. Etherton with a rebound. Nakahigashi trying to push it forward. Kickball there will stop proceedings, and you can see Imamura wondering, how could I have missed that one? Nice look there also at Tashiro. A lot of up and down stuff. Watch it here. Durham couldn't believe he missed also. Looks like Jack Cooley's going to pick up number 1. That's when Jack Cooley also has trouble. Trying to stick with his man. From outside that paint. He's going to pick up his first personal here against Scott. Saito once again trying to use his speed. Bounce pass, not gonna work. Cooley with the steal. They push it forward. Imamura inside to Jack Cooley, and Cooley will miss. Scott pushing it up. Suda sets up, puts up a three, bang! And a timeout now will be called by Coach Dai Okitani. I think really to settle his troops down more than anything else, because they've missed so many point-blank shots. It's now an 8-point lead enjoyed by Nagoya. 6:21 to be played. Welcome back to Dolphins Arena. Anthony Stein with the call as we've had this matchup between the Nagoya Diamond Dolphins and the Ryukyu Golden Kings here this Saturday. This is the first of their doubleheader between two teams looking to make it to the playoffs, or what they call the championship here in the B-League. Saito off and running. Finds Suda. Suda will give it up. Nakahigashi inside. Finds Scott. And that might be steps. It is. He might have been better served just putting up that shot. And then he could have gotten the offensive rebound. Looks like he double clutched just a little bit there. Still an 8-point lead though by Nagoya. Cody Clark almost with a steal. Nice recovery there by the boys in white. Jack Cooley. Drop step, kicks it out. Cole flipping for three. Yes! Badly needed points here for the Golden Kings. First basket here for Cole. Nice lead inside, but very good closing speed once again, shown here by Cole Flippin. Just when it looked like he was beaten to the punch, he was able to recover. Still a 5-point lead enjoyed by Nagoya. Checking in for the first time here is Yoshiyuki Matsuwaki. He's a gunner. He can hit from the outside. Also a tough defender. Scott Etherton for three. Yes! Back up to an 8-point lead here for the boys in red. As we approach the halfway mark of the opening canto. Imamura will bring it down. Suda right on his hip. Trying to find Cooley. They do. He's a little bit outside of his comfort zone. Finds Durham. Matsuwaki now. That's a nice pass inside. And that's where Jack Cooley operates. Inside that paint. He's got an array of moves and shows one there. 3-point play in the offing here for Jack. Nice seal. Spin. That might be the first personal foul there on Scott. It is. Etherton will be replaced as we have Maurice Endure checking in. Maurice Endure had a very good debut last week. Scott Etherton, you can call him a resident import. He's here. He's been here in Japan and he's played for Nagoya for quite a while. These three imports for Ryukyu are also staples. Josh Duncan, Durham, and Jack Cooley. Durham joined them last year, but Duncan and Cooley were there previously. They swing it out. Ray Parks is checked in for the first time. He finds Endure. Endure will miss. Imamura racing down court. His team down by 6. Open 3. Matsuwaki can hit that and does. And that lead has been cut down to 3. Instant offense produced here by Matsuwaki. Endure hands it back. And they're going to say a foul on the floor, so even if that went down, that wouldn't have counted. Checking the team foul situations. Already 3 for Nagoya, 2 for the Golden Kings. Kishimoto just checked in and he came up with a foul. Ryuichi Kishimoto, usually a starter, and then they have Cole Flippin coming in his place, but he flipped the switch here. Pun intended. Nice look inside Parks. No foul called. Durham trying to bring it down himself. Hands it off. Imamura inside that paint. That's a perfect pass. And it looked like a good block there from Harimoto, who also just checked in here for his squad, but a foul's going to be called. Watch this recovery here for Harimoto. So they're going to say the foul was on Tatsuya Ito. Josh Duncan, fresh off that bench. Duncan makes the first. Second on the way, good as well. So Tatsuya Ito has taken over the quarterbacking chores here for the hometown squad. He's going to get stripped. That's going to stay here in this end though. Baseline inbound. There's a lot of contact. Parks hits the deck. There's that piece of action, and he just got run over there by Durham. Allen's going to pick up his first personal. Just a 1-point lead now enjoyed by Nagoya. And Nagoya in the penalty here with still a lot of time remaining. 3 minutes 41 to go. Ryukyu with still one more foul to give. Ito. Can't find a teammate. Goes inside. Quick move there by Clark. He's going to come up short though. Durham blocks that rebound. And they try to push it forward. A pass just a little bit off there. And Duncan can't recover. Durham apologizes. There's a nice shot of Ray Parks. On the outside, Endure. Another nice matchup. This time against Duncan. That's a perfect pass. And that's going to drop. Assist for Ray Parks. 2 points for Scott Etherton. Back to a 3-point lead here for the Diamond Dolphins. Under 3 to be played. Duncan for 3, and we're tied at 17. It's our first deadlock of the ball game. Josh Duncan is an all-around player. He's a 3-level scorer. Kishimoto's going to pick up his second foul. He might have to be replaced here. Gives a thumbs up, but let's see exactly what Coach Dai opts to do. Durham's going to take a seat. Well, he's going to stay with Kishimoto. For how long, we don't know. But he cannot pick up a third. They get it inside to Endure. Now to Ito. Ito from the 15-foot line hits. Back up to a 2-point lead here for Nagoya. Bringing it down is Shota Onodera. His first entry into the ball game. They look inside to Duncan. Duncan with a handoff. That's going to be an offensive foul on Josh. His first. Nice trail job being shown there by Tatsuya, not giving up on the play. And he got blindsided there, definitely. Duncan was still moving. He talks to the referee, but he knows he was really guilty. Just about 2.5 remaining here in the opening period. Nice look there at Harimoto. Big man who plays defense on the opposing import. Not to mention he can hit the open 3-point shot as well. Ito can't get away. Tries to go right back down there. And he put himself in trouble. Almost got it back though. And did. But they're going to say a 3-second violation there on Nagoya. Ito apologizes. That was his fault. He was in no man's land. Kishimoto, deadly from the outside. Onodera with a cut, and a foul is going to be called on Harimoto. That's a poor foul because they're in the penalty. So that's 2 easy shots here now for the Golden Kings. Ryukyu also in the penalty. So neither team can afford any cheap fouls. Harimoto acknowledges that. Well, that miss is going to elicit a lot of cheers from the fans, and why not? That's going to give their team still at least a 1-point edge heading into the final 2 minutes of the first quarter. He's going to miss both. That was tapped outside there by Etherton, though. Jack Cooley just muscling his way inside that paint. Matsuwaki with the baseline inbound goes to Jack Cooley. Cooley's going to quickly give that up. Wise decision. Bring it outside. It looks like that's going to be a foul on Parks. His first and 2 free throws coming up here. Got beaten to the path there by Onodera. Onodera now on the line for 2 shots, looking to tie this ball game. After those 2 missed opportunities from Josh Duncan. Onodera, 27 years old, standing 6 foot flat. Designated point guard here for the Golden Kings. So after 3 missed free throws by the Golden Kings, they finally make one. They're still down by a point. Under 2 to be played here. Etherton on the outside. Ito now. Ito left alone, and he's going to lay that one up. Again, the defender opting to let the man with the basketball get all the way to the cup. That happened on one end, and that's tit for tat if you really look at it. Cooley with the handoff. Kishimoto for 3. No. Harimoto tracks that one down. Ito's going to get away once again. Early offense, and he's going to get 2 layups here, and he's got 4 points. That was matador defense shown here by the boys in white. Cooley will now attack. Nice swing on Odera from the outside. That rims out. But Josh Duncan is there to put that through. Well, the imports for the Golden Kings working extra hard. Parks for three. Yes! Straight and true. Ray Parks picking up where he left off last week. And he's deadly from the outside. Back up to a 6-point lead here for Nagoya. 26-20. Difference of about 4 seconds from the game clock and the shot clock. Neither team with any fouls to give. Kishimoto up against Ito here. Use that pick. Lost his footing. Nice pass. And Matsuaki hits. Matsuaki now has got 2 threes. Ten minutes done here at Dolphins Arena. And it's a 3-point lead enjoyed by Nagoya. 26-23. A very good first period for both these squads. Essentially, the first 5 minutes really belonged to the Nagoya Diamond Dolphins, and then the Ryukyu Golden Kings found their bearings, and they've come right back. They're just down by 3. Second quarter action now. That's a poor pass. Ito will score. Check that. That's Takumi Saito now coming in place of Tatsuya Ito. And Takumi Saito's got 3 steals already here. On the outside, Onodera's gonna miss. But Jack Cooley just takes up so much space inside, and he knows he has a very good chance of getting that offensive rebound, especially when he's up against a local. Five-point lead here by Nagoya. Suda's going to check back in. He was part of the starting lineup here for Coach Sean Dennis. Back in action, together with Endure, Parks, and Etherton. There are 3 imports. Of course, Saito's there as well. Durham left open for 3. That rattles out. There was a bump there. That was clear. Etherton bumped Jack Cooley. That dislodged him, and that's going to be a foul on Scott. Coaches maybe not like that. Not like that call, but watch it here. Yes, that was a long rebound, but at the same time, Cooley might have been able to get to that ball if he wasn't bumped in the back here from Scott. Cooley with the handoff. Cole Flippin back in action. Goes to his big man, and Cooley gets denied by Endure though. Nice recovery. Onodera sidestepping will miss. And they're off and running. Blocking foul going to be called. That's actually a lucky break here for the boys in white. That should have been a layup on the other end. Watch it here. If Scott just put it down earlier. Etherton calling out play number 3. 5-point lead enjoyed here by Nagoya. Looking for more. Cody Clark back in action. Finds Parks. They like this matchup against Onodera. Extra possession. Suda for 3. That's short. The tip's gonna fall here to Cody Clark and he's gonna score. He might get warned there though. He touched that basketball after putting it through. And there is going to be a warning. Back up to a 7-point lead here for Nagoya. Foul's going to be called there, and Cody Clark, that's going to be number 2. That has been his main problem. A lot of times, he gets real giddy. Stopping Cole Flippin there. Tashiro will check back in. Start. He was one of the starters here today. They go to Durham. Durham with a spin. Almost lost it. Eventually does. And Saito's going to be fouled there by Cole Flippin. So that slam dunk there will not work. Jack Cooley there just trying to let out some steam with that dunk. Suda getting down and dirty here for his squad. Every team needs scrappers like that. One of those players that are used to doing the dirty work for his squad. And that is what that gentleman there does. He can hit the outside shot. Loves to play tough defense. But he's not afraid to hit the deck to give his team another possession. On the outside. Attacking. Scott Etherton is going to get fouled there. Scott always loves to trail going towards the basket. That served him well that time. Takahigashi just kissed that off the glass high. Knew that his big man was inside just to give his big man a chance. Etherton is going to make that first. Lead is back up to 8, matching their biggest lead that they had earlier at 12-4. Makes both free throws. It's now a 9-point advantage at 32-23. Nine-point lead, the biggest in the ball game here for either squad. Imamura back in action, hits that medium range jumper. An attack here, Cody Clark against Durham. Puts up a 3, back rims that one. Scott Etherton is able to track that one down. They got a brand new 14, which is now down to 8. Puts up another one. That's offline as well. Durham to the outside. Finds Imamura. But good passing. Strong side to the weak side. Now up on top, flipping. We'll miss everything there. Josh Duncan will check back in. 3 minutes gone here in the second period. Chance of Go Dolphins here from the fans at the Dolphins Arena. But there are some fans here of the Golden Kings as well, sitting right behind that bench of theirs. You can see them in those gold shirts. Etherton will come up short. Nice rebound there by Josh. Trying to cut this lead down even further. RYUKYU has yet to lead here, and that's going to be another turnover, this time on Tashiro. Our referees have been very decisive here today. Getting on the ball. Etherton to Clark, and Cody Clark's gonna hit from 3. He is now 1 out of 3, and he gives a little shove there to Josh Duncan. Timeout will now be called by Coach Dayo Kitani as he finds his squad down by 10. Nice look there at Coach Dai after that timeout. Just a few reminders. His squad has already been able to come back after being down by 8 points. They tied things up at 17, and then all of a sudden, another big blast put together here by the Diamond Dolphins, and they're up by 10. Try to go inside. Jack Cooley with the left hand will miss. Gets it back and puts it through. That's going to cut the lead down to 8. Jack Cooley really always sticking with it. That has really been a staple of his game. Cody Clark finally found his range from 3. We'll hand it off to Saito. Shot clock down to 7. Clark spins. That looks short all the way. Here comes flipping. And the foul's going to be called there on Takumi Saito. Cole Flippin asking for an unsportsmanlike foul. That was actually just a legitimate bump. Watch it here. Actually, some officials might let that go. And there on the other side, Takumi Saito saying that he was the one who was nudged. So Takumi Saito will be replaced here, and we find the Diamond Dolphins now in the penalty with still 5:08 remaining. That's a lot of time. Can the visitors take advantage? Go flip it inside. Flips it through. That's going to bring us to our technical timeout here. An official timeout called. 4:57 remaining before the halftime break. Just about 5 minutes remaining here before the halftime break. Still a 6-point lead being protected here by the Nagoya Diamond Dolphins, and they've got possession of the basketball. Clark on the outside, thought about that three, will give it up. Saito trying to thread that pass. That's too tight. Stolen here by Flippin. They go inside to Jack Cooley. A foul's going to be called there on Endure. And that's 2 free throws. We talked about the fact that Nagoya again getting into early foul trouble. And why not go inside to Jack Cooley? He's going to attract all that attention. Endure is going to pick up foul number 1. First he's going to drop. Gets the friendly roll. Second coming. Trying to cut this one down. No, it's not going to drop. Jack Cooley's a very good free throw shooter, but he's missed more than a few already here. That would have brought his team much closer as they trail by 5. Saito. To the opposite side, Suda now. Suda puts that one up and hits! That was from downtown. Not to mention the fact that he got fouled. Looking for a 4-point play here. Yutaro Suda. Watch it here. From another angle. There was the closeout. They didn't give him enough space to be able to land. Imamura is going to be called for that personal. Trying to extend his lead back up to 9. Well, the fans of the Dolphins have had a lot to cheer about here this Saturday afternoon. They want to keep it going. They want to keep this 2-game winning streak to start the season. Here's Saito. They don't have numbers, but he's really pushing the action. Forces that one up, he'll miss. That's going to stay here with the boys in red. Cooley doesn't like it. Call's going to stick. Still a 9-point lead here. And now Ryukyu also in the penalty. That's a perfect pass. Suda got away from his defender. And it's now an 11-point lead at 41-30. Flipping. Thought about that long shot. Stepping on the sideline there was Tashiro. It has not been Tashiro's day here so far. He has not been able to contribute positively. As you see Coach Dai saying, take your time. We have more than enough time here in this one. We've got an entire half to go as he sends in one of his reliables, Ryuichi Kishimoto. 3.5 remaining. Clark passes a little bit behind Endure. They're going to reset. Clark for 3. No. Josh Duncan pushes it forward. Imamura almost traveled there. Tashiro goes inside to Duncan. Duncan falling away. Gets denied there by Endure. 3-on-3 break. Well, it looked like it was 3-on-3, but actually it was 4-on-3. It was that gentleman there who got fouled. Was actually ahead of the pack. Watch it here. Defense there, leading that offensive thrust. And they forgot that gentleman inside, Nagahigashi. Two free throws now coming up here for number 12. Taito. First he's going to rattle out. Second will give them a 12-point edge. It's now 42-30. Coach Dai talking to the rest of his staff. Let's see what adjustments they're going to make. That is a pass no one could have taken. Even how tall you are, even how high you can jump. Even a 42-inch vertical is not going to help. Another turnover here from the visiting squad. Taking a look at the turnover situation. Golden Kings now with 9. 5 turnovers here for Nagoya. Looked like they had a good opportunity there to score once again, but Durham comes out of that skirmish. Durham trying to force the issue, and a foul is going to be called on Endure. Coach Sean Dennis throwing his hands up in the air saying, that looked like pretty good defense. Well, there was a little bit of contact, but then this is basketball. It's a physical game. Endure's got to sit here. That's his 3rd personal foul. 2 minutes and change to be played here in the first half. Alan Durham, long-time import of the Meralco Bolts here in the PBA, now plying his trade in Japan. Easily makes that first. A little bit too strong on the second. Still an 11-point advantage enjoyed by Nagoya. Harimoto's checked back in. Harimoto open for three. Just short that time. Duncan with the rebound. Durham's going to bring it down himself. Little pressure being shown here by Harimoto. Nice release pass. Kishimoto goes inside. Duncan. Open three. Matsuwaki. Backrims that one. Tracked down there by Saito. That's a nice pass. No-look pass inside. Scott Etherton for two. And that lead is now at 13. At 44-31. And again, chance of defense here from the fans at Dolphins Arena. What a strong finish so far here to the second period. Imamura has been silent. Missing everything there was Matsuwaki. And a chance once again for Nagoya to increase their lead even more. 74 seconds to be played. Scott on the outside with a handoff. We haven't seen too much of Ray Parks, but didn't seem like they needed him. Harimoto will try to challenge. Sidestepping move, not going to work. That's a very poor foul. Because it's going to be free throws just when it seemed like Ryukyu couldn't find any sort of rhythm offensively. You're going to give him two shots. There's that nice sidestepping move. There's not enough English on that one. Harimoto saw the ball, tried to steal it, and he's called for the foul. That's number 3 on Harimoto. So Tenketsu's got to sit down. And here comes Ray Parks. Nagoya wants a strong finish here. They are up 13, their biggest lead of the ball game, but Coach Sean Dennis knows they still have a whole lot of basketball to play. And the Golden Kings are no pushovers. Almost a miss. That could have been tipped out. That's allowed in international basketball, which are the rules being used here in the B-League. That would have saved them a point. Parks tracks it down. Their lead at 11. Parks almost lost it. Gets it back. Puts up a hurried shot. And they're going to get another 14 to work with here. Saito kicks it out. Clark with a 3. That's going to be short. Imamura tracks it down. They've got more than enough time for one final shot. Time's down to 4 seconds. Kishimoto inside. Kicks it out. That was unselfish play, but at the same time, you have to be able to temper things and know when you've got to go aggressively to the basket. Didn't work out there for the Golden Kings. They've only scored 10 points in the second period as they now trail by 11 at the half. It's halftime here at Dolphins Arena, and as we see Jack Cooley blowing a kiss to his fans, that means action begins. On the outside, Takumi Saito started off on the right note. Being aggressive, knocks down that three. It was 3-0 at that particular stage. And then that perfect pass finds Suda all by his lonesome. It became 5-0. Jack Cooley's gonna miss. Etherton to the wing. Suda sets up for this three, knocks that one down, and it was 12-4 at that particular stage, opening up an 8-point advantage. Then Ko Flippin from the outside drains that three. That brought his team back. Kishimoto would check in off the bench. Isho off a few assists, but he has yet to find a basket. Duncan there, knocking that one through. After the first 10 minutes, it was 26-23, just a 3-point lead for Nagoya. And then, after a brief rest, Takumi Saito back in action with a steal. That's his third steal. 9 turnovers in all here for the Golden Kings. Just 5 for Nagoya. Inside, Ko Flippin flips that one through. He only had one tie in the contest. It was at 17. This is a 4-point play in the offing. Slight contact there from Imamura. Suda hits, and he would complete the 4-point play. Suda would finish the half with 7 points. Check that with 9. Nice flip there. Scott Easterton for 2. Everything rolling here for the Nagoya Diamond Dolphins, the first 2 quarters. As we show you some of the numbers. Field goal shooting overall, 45% to 37% in favor of Nagoya. Broken down, it's just very close. As you can see there, 45% as compared to 42%. But when you look at the actual field goals made, that's the big difference. 11 as compared to 6. Free throws, a big story here for the Golden Kings. They went to the line 15 times, though they missed 6 for 60%. We talked about the turnover numbers, 9 and 5, 22-10. Those are the points in the paint. That favors the Diamond Dolphins. They got plus 12 there. But bench points favors the Golden Kings, 16-9. Let's take a look at this matchup between the two towers inside. Scott Easterton with 5 points, 7 rebounds. On the other side, we've got Jack Cooley with 5 points, 3 boards. Field goal shooting much better here for Scott Easterton at 75% as compared to 40% there. And from 3-point distance, 1 out of 1 here for Scott. Jack Cooley really an inside operator, so that is really a stat that you expect. No shots from 3. Leading scorers here for both squads. 11 points there for Suda. Check that. 9 points was Saito. And Scott Easterton also with 9 for the team that's trailing. 9 points there for Josh Duncan coming off the bench. 2 threes hit there by Matsuaki for his 6 points. And Jack Cooley's got 5. So Alan Durham, who was a starter here together with Ko Flippin, really not factoring into the scoring. Jay Washington from the Philippines. A lot of fans from the Philippines interested to see just how much Jay Washington can contribute to his squad. But Washington actually only played scrub minutes in their first encounter, which they won big. Here now is the rebounding story. 7 rebounds for Scott. 3 there for Saito and 3 for Clark. 5 rebounds for Josh Duncan, actually. That's not Ko Flippin. And then 3 apiece for Imamura and Jack Cooley. In terms of the assists, 3 assists for Scott, 2 for Saito, and 2 for Clark. Imamura's got 3 assists. Kishimoto's got 2 dimes coming off the bench, and Matsuaki's got 1. which brings us to second half festivities. A little bit of a nice chat there, Scott and Jack. You can see the Rolltech board there in the back, promoting the World Cup in 2023, which will be co-hosted by the Philippines, Japan, and Indonesia. Japan and the Philippines have qualified for the World Cup already as hosts. Scott Ethan with a spin, might have traveled. Referees let that go, and it's back up to a 13-point advantage for Nagoya at 46-33. Flippin trying to slow it down, change the tempo a little bit. Let's see if it works to their advantage. Imamura goes inside. Durham drop step, kicks it out. They go inside. Jack Cooley kisses it high off the glass. Token defense shown there by Scott Etherton. Doesn't want to pick up a foul. Not this early. Nice movement without the basketball. Scott with a pass. And an easy basket there from Nakahigashi. And lead is back up to 13. Let's see if they try to slow things down once again. Tashiro inside. Durham overshoots. They're going to miss. The tip goes to Imamura. Third crack at the basket here. Cooley with the left hand will come up short. And there is another missed opportunity. But Alan Durham will head to the line. That was relentless pursuit on the boards. Watch it here. Off that foul, and 2 free throws here for Allen. Suda with a smile. Not necessarily your leading scorer, but he's the leading scorer here. Not usually. Allen makes that first. Knocks down both free throws. Saito outside. That was not in rhythm, that pass. They were not in sync. Nakahigashi was cutting to the basket. He's been cut down to 14. Again, they're slowing down the pace. Imamura tries to go inside. It's a perfect pass. Jack Cooley will score, and the lead's down to 10. Back-to-back scores here for the RYUKYU Golden Kings. 2 from the free throw. That might be a backing violation. It is. There wasn't too much pressure that time. They just took their eye off the ball. Chance now for the Golden Kings to come closer. Now a mini 4-0 run. Back inside to Allen. Flippin. Imamura. Back inside to Durham. Tries to power his way. Gets denied there by Scott. I guess Durham forgot that Scott Etherton stands 6'8" as compared to his 6'6" frame. Durham again tries to power his way. Gets blocked from the back. Play on. Not the best of passes there though. Looks like there was 2 minds whether to attack or not. Imamura, bounce pass inside. Durham will miss. Another possession here for the boys in white. They've got so many offensive boards. The problem is they're not scoring. Imamura for 3. Short. Jack Cooley once again with another rebound. In the last 3 sequences, they've had 7 rebounds. Imamura with a miss. Inside track there for Jack Cooley. And he's going to head to the line for 2 shots. Timeout will be called here. Despite the fact that Sean Dennis' squad is up, he doesn't like the fact that they're giving away too many offensive boards. Two free throws now coming up here for Alan Durham. Oh, check that for Jack Cooley. Because both these guys have just been crashing the boards. Cooley put a little bit more arc on that one because he missed 3 free throws in the first half. That added to the soft bounce. Gets that to drop. Makes both that time. Jack Cooley now in double digits. Got 11 points. Jack Cooley also has 7 rebounds. Almost a steal there by Flippin. Saito. That was really a tough shot. Kisses it off the glass. Not sure he called bank, but he's happy to just score. Tashiro will miss. And again, inside that paint is Jack Cooley. Scott Etherton's going to pick up this foul. Another one here. That might be number 3 on Scott. Back up to a 10-point lead here for Nagoya. Though Etherton's going to hit the bench. And there's confirmation. He does have 3 personal fouls. Endure will check in. A little bit more hops here for Endure. They get it inside to Durham. Finds Jack. Nice look inside. Tashiro gets away. And an assist here for Jack. Very good numbers for Jack Cooley. 7 points, 11 rebounds, and an assist. But his team is still trailing by 8. Cody Clark has not really been offensive-minded here today. Saito will put that up. It's not going to drop that time. Durham. Durham with the attack. Durham all the way through. He gets denied, but once again, Jack Cooley's there to clean things up. 4 minutes gone, and the lead has been cut down to 6. Here come the Golden Kings. They want a 3-0 start to the season as well. Endure kicks it out. Saito looks for space and hits. Takumi Saito hitting from the outside. He's got 2 threes tonight. Almost a steal. It's completed. 4 steals in the ball game already for Saito. Off Cole Flippin. And that lead is back up to 11, just like that. 5-point swing, 17 points in the contest for Takumi. Tashiro finds Imamura. Imamura's gonna come up short. And a race down court. They feel they've got numbers. That's a wild pass, but quicker to the basketball. There was Nakahigashi. That looked like it was a turnover. Turns out to be a great pass. Saito apologized, saying that was all me. And he was saying that was all Nakahigashi's effort. And they might even give him an assist for that one. Timeout going to be called here by RYUKYU. Suddenly, they find themselves down by 13 once again. Back to the action here in Dolphins Arena. And Dolphin fans have had so much to cheer about. Their team has been quite solid here this afternoon. They now lead by 13. Ray Parks back in action. Kishimoto has yet to get uncorked here offensively. Imamura will miss. But they might say that there was basket interference, and there was. That's a good call. Goaltending violation. 2 points going to Keita. That cuts the lead down to 11. 4:34 to be played here in the third. Endur will bring it down himself. That's where they can try to take advantage of Jack Cooley. Bring him out. Right now, the game plan, though, of Coach Sean Dennis working. Handoff not going to work. Tashiro gives it up. Jack Cooley, easy slam. They're trying to get it right back if they possibly can. That's another big basket here from Suda. He's got 14 points. They put up Ray Parks' face, but that was Suda there knocking that one down. Suda now with a good game. 14 points, 2 boards, and 1 assist. Imamura kicks it out. Extra pass. Kishimoto, can he finally find the mark? No, he doesn't. There's Jack Cooley again, getting an offensive rebound. Unfortunately, his foot on the baseline. It's back up to a 12-point lead. Cooley saying he got pushed. He'll take a break. He's been giving it his all. Tatsuya Ito will check back in. Regular rotation pattern here for Coach Sean Dennis. Ito forcing the issue. Almost lost it. Still a lot of time on their shot clock. That's at 10. Suda. Cody Clark might have to take this one. He goes in all the way. They forgot to defend the man with the basketball once again. And that leads back up to 14, matching their biggest lead of the contest. Duncan in action here for Jack Cooley. A foul is going to be called. And that is going to put Nagoya in the penalty once again with 3:04 remaining. They have gotten into the penalty early in all quarters. RYUKYU with no team fouls here in the third. Titherton back. Nakahigashi in now. He just replaced Suda. They send the quick double from the outside. Imamura now finding his range. And that could spell trouble for the home squad. Parks gives it out to Scott. Scott back to Ray. They swing it around the perimeter. Shot clock still at 8. Durham had the inside track, could have gotten the steal there. Sparks trying to take advantage of this mismatch, and does! Sparks now with that fall away shot will give him 5 in the contest, and the lead is back up to 13 for Nagoya. They swing it on the outside. Matsuaki almost had his third 3. They find Scott. He's going to be fouled by Matsuaki. The referee's going to confer. There were 2 players in the vicinity. They could have given it to either one. Coach Dai wondering, what do we need to do? We tied things up at 17, and then suddenly another explosion here from the Nagoya Diamond Dolphins. Nice pass from Ito. Oh, that was clear. If you're Matsuaki, how can you complain? You had your arm around. And now this might even be an unsportsmanlike foul. That could be 2 free throws plus ball possession, and definitely there was no play on the ball there. So if the referees say unsportsmanlike, you'll agree with them. That could be another big call here against Ryukyu. So that's going to mean 2 free throws plus ball possession, and already a 3-point lead. Watch it here. There's the hold. That was clear. He was definitely holding on to Etherton. And that's the right call. Matsuaki still shaking his head. I guess he's got to look at the replay. And he's still conferring with the referee. You were holding on to the guy's arm. What were you thinking of? Coach Dai agrees. Scott now with 2 free throws. That might give them their biggest lead in the ball game. But he's going to miss the first. He's got another one coming. This to match their biggest lead. And it's now at 14 once again. But they've got possession. Looking to try to push this lead even further as we head into the 4th. Almost a 5-second violation, but Ito gets it off. Gets it right back there from Scott. Sparks in the perimeter. Ito with the jumper, a little bit too strong. Ooh, the foul is going to be called there on the boys in white when it looked like Durham had inside position. Couldn't really tell there. Nonetheless, we're staying here in this end. Ryukyu now with 2 team fouls. Ito to the corner, endure. They want to force the 3. Shot clock is down to 2. Drop step's gonna work. That's gonna go in, and it's gonna be a 16-point advantage now at 68-52. Mamura and company gotta wake up. I think Coach Dai is gonna need Jack Cooley back in the ball game. Duncan will misfire. That's off him. Ryukyu does have fouls to give. There's Jack Cooley on a bench, expecting to start the 4th. They need his scoring sock inside. Coach Dai was going down. It looked like he might have been wanting to send in Jack Cooley. But I guess he's going to keep him on the bench. A foul is going to be called here, stopping progress. Kishimoto doesn't like the call. He's had a horrible afternoon. But he was impeding the progress there of Ito. They still have one more foul to give. Parks inside. That's not gonna drop. But they've got another opportunity. Yes, they do. Parks telling his teammates, doesn't matter. We've got possession once again. We've got another 14 to burn. And they're up by 16. Endure. To Scott. Now they gotta make their move. Ito with a high floater. Will miss everything. Endure doesn't realize it. That's not gonna count. Shot clock is gonna go off. Now Durham says, let me play point. He's gonna bring it down against Parks. Parks guarding Durham up high. Going to a zone now. That's a basket that they badly needed. Matsuaki now has got 3 threes for a total of 9 points. And that's gonna cut the lead down to 13. Ito tries to answer back and does with a 3 of his own. And the lead is back up to 16. Difference of 4 seconds from the game clock and the shot clock here in the third. Nagoya with no more fouls to give. Durham explodes to the basket, gives it up. Kishimoto to the wing. That's a nice pass. Onodera. Shot clock's now down to 2. 4 shot from Kishimoto. He hits. Finally, he finds his range. That's not gonna count even if it goes. Badly needed shot. And it drops here for Kishimoto. He continues to talk to the officials, but as we head into the fourth, it's a 13-point lead enjoyed by Nagoya, 71-58. Final quarter is upon us. Here from the Dolphins Arena, once again, we'd like to thank all of you for joining us for this battle between Nagoya and RYUKYU. This Saturday afternoon, B.LEAGUE action coming your way. Anthony Sutai with the call. Got a good one on our hands. Both these teams sporting 2-0 records. One team will go up to 3-0, the other one will drop to 2-1. And again, Alan Durham working double time inside will pick up a foul from Scott Etherton. Jack Cooley still on the bench. That's surprising. Etherton will have to be replaced. He's in foul trouble. That was number 4. And here comes Endure. Scott Etherton actually didn't even see 25 seconds of action. And he's now back on the bench. That's going to be another team foul here. Not even 30 seconds gone. 2 quick fouls on Nagoya. They got into the penalty early in all 3 quarters. Here's that earlier play. Kishimoto staying in the ball game. Now they're trying to go inside to Duncan. Trying to take advantage of that mismatch. That's going to be another foul against Durham. That's going to be number 3. This one on Cody Clark. All these fouls are going to come back to haunt the boys in red. You can just see the aggressiveness there of Allen. Trying to get an offensive rebound. And a battle inside. That's going to be the 4th personal foul here. Also of Cody Clark. We talked about it in the first half. He always gets into foul trouble. And now it's Parks and Endure, the only imports on the floor here. That's a great block. Saito will wait for his teammates. No need to rush. They're up by 13. Still too early to freeze the basketball, but at the same time, you want to be able to take good shots. And Saito takes a good one. He hits from the outside. That lead is back up to 16. They want the victory here. A minute gone in the 4th. Duncan will not challenge Endure. Oh no, data for 3. He can't reply. They just tap it out. Much quicker, almost to the ball, but Durham's going to get this one back. Durham all the way, tries to slam it, will miss. Durham asking for a foul. Officials say play on. Parks will bring it down. Harimoto with a handoff. Ray tries to kiss it off the glass, just short that time. Duncan's gonna try to rush things a little bit. Forces his way against Harimoto, he'll score. Leads down to 14. Still a lot of time remaining in this one. Almost 8 to play. Saito with the spin. They kick it out. Harimoto can hit this one, and does! Another assist here for Saito. Remember, he's averaging 12 assists a ball game. Lead is now at 17, 77-60. Another nice stop. 2-1 break. Parks inside, lays it through, and the lead is now at 19. And a timeout will have to be called here by Coach Dai Okitani. It is a gamble from Coach Oketani, keeping Jack Cooley on the bench, and it backfired. Right now, it's a huge 19-point lead here for Nagoya. And now Jack Cooley's in action. The question is, will it be a little bit too late? We'll find out. Steal here for Endure. Endure in the open court. Will slam that one through. And it's now a 21-point advantage at 81-60. The Golden Kings have just crumbled here, which is very surprising. That's going to be a foul on Endure. And that's what Jack Cooley brings to the table. You have to be able to really body up on him. And now, with still 6:53 to go, we got Nagoya in the penalty. Almost 7 minutes to be played in the penalty. And that's the fourth personal foul here of Endure. So all four of the international imports here for Nagoya with 4 personals. What does Sean Dennis do? He's got a gamble. Now he gambles on Scott Etherton. Etherton, I think, is the best bet against Jack Cooley. The question is, how long can he be able to box out Cooley? Nice basket there from Kishimoto. It's going to bring it down to 19. There's a lot of time remaining in this one. Still a chance for the Golden Kings. But you like the chances of Nagoya here. Suda will come up short. That was good defense there. That's going to be a foul on Jack Cooley. That was ill-advised. All he needed to do was get down into the low block. No need to run anybody over. He ran over Saito there. Check that, Ito. He just pushed him out. You can't shove another player. You can try to go around him, not through him. 6.5 to be played here. Jack Cooley's got to play it cool. So it's Cooley and Duncan inside. I expect them to bring Alan Durham back very quickly, maybe about a minute. That has been their best combination. Etherton with the handoff. Suda to the wing. Here's Sparks trying to attack. Finds Harimoto. Sparks will have to create here. Shot clock down to 2. Puts up a long one. And here come the boys in white. Foul's going to be called there on Parks. Up against Duncan. That's free throws. Not a good foul there from Ray. And he realizes it. That's a third personal foul on Parks. So even he's in foul trouble. But on the brink, of course, are the other 3. Clark, Endure, and Etherton with 4 each. Ray's going to be rested. That's a good substitution. Sean wanting to rest Parks. Maybe send him back in after about a minute. Save him from picking up a 4th. And at the same time, let him come in a little stronger, a little fresher. Josh Duncan now. Badly needed free throws here. Will make that first. The fans of the Golden Kings that have made their way here to Dolphins Arena still hoping that their team's able to come back. They got to box out Jack Cooley here. Watch him go for this offensive rebound. That's a good box out there. They doubled him. That's Harimoto and Scott Etherton. And a poor miss also for Josh Duncan. Ito will get it back from Harimoto. Now they're going to use some clock. That's wise. Ito's going to lose it here. Imamura pushes it forward. That's a bad pass. Etherton's there. Now they got to use some clock. Wise move. Time is now their ally. 2-man game there with Scott. And an offensive foul is going to be called, and that's it. Etherton is done. Who does Sean Dennis go with now? Looks like it's Endure. You don't have to be that aggressive. Not at this stage. You need to be on the floor. Talking about Scott. So it's Endure inside, also with 4 personals. Duncan for 3. Bang! Here comes that rally that the Golden Kings are looking to establish. Endure will bring it down himself. That lead has been cut down to just 15 now. It once stood at 21. At this stage, you've got to still look to score. Suda from the outside, back rims that one. Cooley with the rebound. Cooley now with a double-double, 15 points, 10 boards. Onodera. He's got the size advantage. That might be an offensive foul. It is. You don't need to shove the player, not at this stage. Get the ball to Jack Cooley. Ito doing his job, staying right in front, and that was clearly a shove. That's not smart basketball. 4:35 to play in this one as we get to this official timeout. (81-66) is our tally. Nagoya looking to keep their immaculate slate. That's a perfect pass and a nice slam there from Endure. All the hard work done there by their point guard, who's back in the ball game, Takumi Saito, looking to be able to finish what he started off. Handoff, Onodera. Onodera will challenge. That's not going to drop. Nice rebound there from Cody Clark. And both imports are in, and that's a sorry opportunity there to be able to put this game away. Under 4 minutes to be played, but we're staying on this end. Now might also be a good time to bring in Ray Parks for a strong finishing kick. Lead is back up to 17. Back to Saito, to Endure. Endure with a jumper, yes! And the lead is back up to 19. Maybe you don't need Ray Parks anymore. This team is humming. The 5 he's got on the floor here for Coach Sean Dennis. Imamura hoists the 3, he'll come up short. Duncan with the rebound. Duncan will miss. They're not sending Alan Durham back. And here comes Parks, as expected. That's going to be a backing violation here. Cody Clark has really not gotten into a rhythm. Clark has decent numbers. He's got 7 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 assists. But it looks like Nakahigashi's injured. And in comes Parks for him. Trainers are going to work on him. With his 19-point lead, we might not see him back. He's holding on to that knee of his. Last ditch stand here for the Golden Kings, at least for today. Cooley's gonna miss. And you can see Josh Duncan getting to it first. The Golden Kings have been first to the rebound. They have just not been able to cash in on those offensive boards. Here's another one of those instances. They're going to call a foul. And that's going to be it for Endure. So two players have fouled out. Here comes Harimoto. So now just down to two imports. Ray Parks with 3 fouls. And Cody Clark with 4. So still maybe a glimmer of hope. But just about 3 minutes remaining in this one. Can Nagoya weather the storm? They have been in the penalty at essentially the 7-minute mark. 6:53 if you want to be exact. There's Jay Washington on the bench. Coach Dai has not called his number yet here today. One for 2. So many misses from the free throw line already here. For the Golden Kings, they've missed 8 today. Nice roll. Parks with a layup there. And that's going to increase the lead once again of Nagoya. Parks will have 9 points in the contest. Extra swing. Matsuwaki hits. That's going to keep them in it. But they're still down by 17. And again, Saito says, let's use some clock. Wise decision. To try to attack against Matsuwaki. He's got the speed advantage there. He'll attack and score! And a basket to boot. 3-point play in the offing here now for Takumi Saito. Watch him. Little stutter step, change of speed. He gets nudged a little bit there from Matsuwaki. And this might bring it back to a 20-point advantage. And that should be it. Third personal foul going to be called on Matsuwaki. Jay Washington is going to check in for the first time. He can hit that 3. He stands 6'7". He can help out with the boards as well. Saito's going to hit that free throw. Some substitutions here. No timeout being called. And I think Coach Sean Dennis thinks and feels it's a 1-ball game. As he sends in Seiga Sakamoto. One of only 2 new players that they brought in here. Talking about the Nagoya Diamond Dolphins. They also brought in Maurice Endure as their new import. Duncan will bring it out against the double team. A little bit of a sidestepping move. No look pass. And Jay Washington wasn't rolling towards the basket. That is a lack of familiarity between players. Matsumoto thought that Washington was going to be there. Now they just got to use clock. Cody Clark going to hold on to this one. Still with Clark. Now with Parks. Parks lost his footing. They're going to have to put up a shot here. Clark. Yes! And that is now the biggest lead at 22. So the Nagoya Diamond Dolphins are going to move to 3-0 early in the season. The Golden Kings, after 2 quick wins last week, will now pick up their first loss. At this particular stage, you don't really need to foul. Kikuchi, they want to give up the 2 points. You can at this stage. Just let the clock roll. You want this game to end. 1:06 to be played. So many free throws given here to the Golden Kings. They were awarded 23 free throws. On the other side, only 8 trips to the line for Nagoya. Duncan with a decent 17 points, albeit in a losing cause. Trying to get to 18 here. He also has 7 rebounds. Washington trying to be active there on the offensive boards. And again, Cody Clark going to bring it down and use clock. That spot is a little tight. Parks will be fouled. Are they going to say it's in the act of shooting? Matsuwaka is going to pick up a cheap one. Now they're going to say it's in the act of shooting. And Parks making sure that the referee saw that he was looking at the basket. Parks to get to double digits. He's now got 10 points to go with 1 rebound and 2 assists. Once again in double digits scoring wise is Parks. He's going to get the lucky roll there. And the lead is now at 22. Once again, 94-72. Washington kicks it back. Matsuwaki looking for some space. They're going to have to put this one up. Falling away, it's not going to hit. Josh Duncan with an offensive rebound. Matsuwaki from downtown, no. And that should be it. Just get it past the halftime, half court rather. And from a halftime score of 44-33, they've continued to build on that lead. It became 71-58. And now our final score will be 94-72. And it's official. The Nagoya Diamond Dolphins are going to move to 3-0 early in the season. Here for 2022-2023. A resounding victory here against one of the title contenders, the Golden Kings. That's a big fish they got here. These two teams will face off once again tomorrow. As is customary here in the B.LEAGUE, teams play each other twice on the weekend. And there's one of your heroes, Takumi Saito. Not just leading his squad scoring-wise, but also he helped dish out a lot of assists. He finished with 23 points, and he got 6 dimes. Josh Duncan, in a losing effort, will lead the scorers for the Golden Kings. There's your quarter scoring. But what really did in RYUKYU was that dismal 10 points in the second period. They had good 25 points in the third, but they allowed Nagoya to score 27, so they still got outscored. In just a bit, we're going to hear from winning coach Sean Dennis and some of the star players. Quite possibly, we have to hear from Takumi Saito. We'd like to invite you for our game tomorrow on Sunday. It's going to be 30 Ravenna and the San Nenio Phoenix taking center stage here for B.LEAGUE action on Sunday. And they're going to be up against Levanga Hokkaido, the new squad of Dwight Ramos. So it's 30 up against Dwight tomorrow. But here's your hero. Picking his spots perfectly there was Takumi Saito. Hit from the outside, drove when he could. Always looking at the mismatch. and taking advantage. So despite the fact that their imports were all in foul trouble, Parks would end up with 3, Etherton would foul out, and Dur would foul out. Cody Clark had 4. The Diamond Dolphins will pick up the victory nonetheless and win it big, 94-72. And here now is Coach Sean Dennis.
ドルファミの皆さん、応援ありがとうございました。それではまずはショーン・デニスヘッドコーチよりコメントをいただきたいと思います。よろしくお願いいたします。
皆さんこんにちは。Today was a real test for us against a team that's been the Western Conference champions now for the last 5 years and played last year in the championship series. And I thought our guys did an amazing job to stand up to that against a very, very good team in RYUKYU.
琉球はコンフェレンスチャンピオン3年連続、去年はチャンピオンシップまで行って、本当に強いチームでそことプレーして本当に今日はうちにとってはテストでした。
It'll be a really big test for us tomorrow. They are the reigning Western Conference champions, and they're going to come back like champions do and really test us again. And it'll be a great challenge again for us to step forward and make sure that we meet that challenge head on, just like we did today.
地区優勝チームらしく明日も強く出てくると思います。そこに、うちも対して強く出てこなきゃいけないと思います。明日も本当にチャレンジ、テストとなると思っています。
Again, thank you for your support, and with your support again tomorrow, I know our guys are going to come out and again give everything they've got to make you proud of what we have here in Nagoya. Arigatou gozaimasu.
選手が全員明日また頑張って出てくるのは、もう当たり前ですから、また皆様もまた見に来てください。よろしくお願いします。
ショーン・デニスヘッドコーチ、ありがとうございました。それでは続いて本日の MVP 選手を発表いたします。本日の MVP はナンバー2、斉藤匠選手です。おめでとうございます。斉藤選手、得点だけではなくリバウンド、スティールとディフェンスでも大活躍しました。得点23点も獲得、6アシストを決めております。斉藤選手、おめでとうございます。斉藤選手、おめでとうございます。
ありがとうございます。ありがとうございます。
まずは開幕3連勝、今のお気持ちいかがでしょうか。
はい、今日も、去年の地区優勝チーム相手に、自分たちの、ゲームプラン通り戦えたと思いますし、ファールトラブルのところもいろいろあったと思うんですけど、それをしっかり乗り越えれたっていうのは今のうちのチームの強さだと思うので、率直に開幕3連勝できて嬉しいです。
そんな中で今日の斉藤選手ご自身のプレーはいかがでしたでしょうか。
そうですね、やっぱり相手リバウンドがすごい強いチームですので、決められても、守っても自分がしっかりポイントガードとしてプッシュしていく、トランジションの速いオフェンスを展開していくっていう部分では、僕だけじゃないですけどポイントガードを全員うまくできたと思いますし、ウイングの選手も走ってたし、ビッグマンもしっかり走ってたので、そういった意味で、ディフェンスがすごくいいチームだと思うんですけど、琉球さんはそれに対して94点取れるっていうのはやっぱりうちのチームの強みだと思いますし、それをしっかりポイントガードとして引っ張れたのは良かったのかなというふうに思います。
いや大きな勝利だと思います。明日のゲーム2も楽しみにしております。
はい、ありがとうございます。
斉藤選手、最後にドルファミンの皆さんにメッセージをお願いできますでしょうか。
はい、今日も熱い応援ありがとうございました。開幕3連勝できたのも皆さんのおかげだと思ってます。先週の三河に続いて今週の琉球さんも、かなり強豪チームになると思うので、また明日応援よろしくお願いします。ありがとうございました。
ありがとうございました。本日の MVP 斉藤匠選手でした。それではこの後本日の MVP 斉藤匠選手の推し曲「アド私は最強」を聴きながらドルフィンズの選手がアリーナをお見送りいたします。新型コロナウイルス感染拡大防止の観点から選手のハイタッチを行いません。何卒ご了承ください。それでは選手の皆さんよろしくお願いします。
Very nice statement there coming from Takumi Saito as he talked about the fact today we were very happy we won. I personally just tried my very best and defense really did it for us today, and he said, before I go, I'd like to be able to ask for your support once again for tomorrow because we need back-to-back victories here against a very strong Ryukyu Golden Kings. But here today, the Nagoya Diamond Dolphins move up to 3-0 early in the season of the B.LEAGUE 2022-2023. As I say, thank you to their fans, who they're going to be seeing tomorrow once again on Sunday. Big victory here for the Nagoya Diamond Dolphins. As we mentioned, a big scalp in, as Coach Sean Dennis mentioned, the division champion from last year. And you can't say they're not in good form because they were able to come up with back-to-back victories last week. That kiss of Jack Cooley is going to be probably the only positive that he had here today. Takumi Saito really feeling it today, starting from that opening three-point shot, nails that one to make it 3-0, and then look at his perfect pass, bouncing it there. Suda will get his first basket. Suda was also in double digits here for his squad. 5-0 run to start things off, and that three there from Suda will make it 12-4 for an 8-point lead. But from that big 8-point advantage, it suddenly became 17 apiece. Actually, there was only one tie in this ball game. Ko Flippin trying to bring his team back here. But after that deadlock at 17, it was all Nagoya. From the 17 all count, it became 32-23. And then 35-25, 10-point advantage, became an 11-point advantage at 41-30. And they continued to just build on that lead. Jack Cooley got so many rebounds inside, and he can shoot with either hand inside that paint, which makes him doubly effective. Go Flippin. Flips that through there. That would get them to within 5. But then suddenly answering back is that gentleman, Suda, who's been on target today. Suda actually didn't even finish the game, despite the fact that he was really on target here. Nice look. An assist there for Suda and 2 points for Scott Etherton. Suda would finish with 14 points. So the first quarter ended 26-23. Halftime was 44-33. They changed ends, and this is where Jack Cooley really went to work. Lucky shot there for Saito. You know, when he hits shots like that, you're in trouble. Saito, sidestep, hits that three. And he'll get another steal. He really had the number of Ko Flippin. Ko Flippin looks over at the referee saying, what can I do to get a call? But Saito was just all over defensively. Tashiro will hand it off here. Cooley with the slam. That would get them right back in it. At the end of the third period, it was 71-58. And then Suda, once again with those timely baskets. Extending that lead once again. Here was what maybe some would say was a turning point. Matsuwaki there called for the unsportsmanlike foul. So 2 free throws plus ball possession. That turned out to be a 3-point swing to add to the already big tally of the boys in red. Timeout will be called here by Coach Dai Yokitani. And Josh Duncan helped out right after that timeout. But in the end, just too much good shooting. Look at this, Harimoto off the bench, nails that one. Imamura finds Duncan. But that was a meek reply. They'd have 1-3, but they'd give Nagoya 2. So 6 points against 3 points. It's a perfect pass. Endure would slam that through right before he fouled out. And it's going to be a 22-point victory here for the Nagoya Diamond Dolphins, winning this one 94-72. As we take a look at the numbers, in terms of total field goal shooting, it was no contest. 56% as compared to 35%. And as you break it down there into 2 points and 3 points, look at this, from 2-point distance, 58% to 36%, 25 out of 43 as compared to 14 out of 38. So 11 more field goals just from 2, and that really will do you in. They did have a lot more free throws. They had +9 made in +15 given, but still, it wasn't enough to stem the tide. In terms of turnovers, 17 for the Golden Kings, 13 here for the Diamond Dolphins. But the points in the paint was just insurmountable. Look at that, 48/24. So that was really Nagoya doubling up on Ryukyu. Bench points are now suddenly even. It was actually a big margin at the half, but now it ended just +5 for the Golden Kings. Let's see, we'll show you the head-to-head matchup first. Yes, that is the head-to-head matchup. And Jack Cooley getting the better of it. 15 points, 10 rebounds as compared to just 12 points and 6 boards for Scott. But Scott and his squad, the Diamond Dolphins, will go away with the W here this Saturday afternoon. Looking now at the leading scorers for both squads. For the leaders, Takumi Saito, their starting point guard with 23 big markers, helped out by Yutaro Suda with 14, and Scott Easterton contributed 12. On the other side, Duncan would have 18, as we mentioned. Jack Cooley with 15 points, which you have there on your boards, on your scoreboard. And 12 points also scored by Matsuwaki, all on threes. That's what we talked about. The scoring leaders for both these squads. Rebounding story. Clark has 7. 6 for Scott. And Endure with 4. 9 boards for Jack Cooley. He had 9 earlier, so I thought he had a big double-double of 15 points, but it should be 10. They showed that earlier. 8 for Duncan, and Alan Durham would finish with 7 boards. In terms of assists, Takumi Saito would have 7. It's short of his 12 that he's averaging, but still, 7 is a lot. Easterton would have 5, and Cody Clark also with 5 dimes. There's the rebounding story. Keita Imamura, one of their top scorers, usually is their top assist man with 6. Durham with 3 dimes, and Matsuwaki also issued out 2 assists. Look at some more numbers. Rebounding just about even. In fact, the Golden Kings had 4 more rebounds, which is not surprising. They got so many offensive boards. In the assist department, it's 24 assists for the Diamond Dolphins and 19 for the Golden Kings. So +5 there. But in the steals department, +2 only. 7-5 in favor of the Diamond Dolphins. That's going to do it for our coverage. Nagoya winning this one 94-72 here this Saturday afternoon in behalf of everybody from the B.LEAGUE, Anthony Sutay saying thanks for joining us. Till tomorrow, take care. Have a good Saturday afternoon ahead. God bless.